Right, so here's the heart. The major systemic artery here is the aorta. This is the arch of the aorta. First branch off the aortic arch is the brachiocephalic trunk. The brachiocephalic trunk forks into the right common carotid artery in the human and the right subclavian artery. Okay, in the cat, the left common carotid artery would also branch off the brachiocephalic trunk. Okay, now the right subclavian artery is going to go past the clavicle, and then when it comes through, it's the axillary artery here. Okay, and then it goes all the way to the arm. This is the brachial artery. Okay. The left common carotid artery in the human is branching off the aorta here. The left subclavian is branching off the aorta here. Okay, so that branches into left subclavian, then axillary, then brachial arteries. Okay. Now the veins here all lead into the superior vena cava. Okay. This here and this here are the brachiocephalic veins. So this is the right brachiocephalic vein, left brachiocephalic vein. Okay, there are two branches that lead into the brachiocephalic veins in humans. The external jugular vein here, and then the subclavian vein here. So this would be the left external jugular, left subclavian, right external jugular, right subclavian. The veins here are going to follow the arteries. So right axillary artery, right brachial artery. Okay. Now, when the aorta arches behind the heart, it's called the thoracic aorta, but you can't see that on the model, really only in the cat. When it comes through the other side, in the abdominal cavity, you have the abdominal aorta here, and then the large vein is the inferior vena cava. The first branch off the abdominal aorta is the celiac trunk. You can tell this is celiac trunk because it has a branch that goes to the spleen, which is what I told you when I talked about it. Okay, celiac trunk. Okay, the next branch right here is the superior mesenteric artery. Next branches are going to be the two to the kidneys, the renal arteries. Okay, right renal artery, left renal artery. The final branch before the aorta itself branches is the inferior mesenteric artery here. Okay, when the abdominal aorta branches, these two right here are the common iliac arteries. Common iliac arteries branch into the external iliac artery and the internal iliac artery. Okay, in the cat, there is no common iliac artery. You just cut the external and internal and paste it right onto the end of the abdominal aorta, and you get what you have in the cat. There's no common. Okay. Now the external iliac artery is going to pass through the body wall and become the femoral artery in the leg. Okay. Now for the veins, there are going to be no veins you have to know, no branches off the inferior vena cava before the renal veins, the right renal vein, left renal vein. Then the vein is going to, when it gets down to the pelvis here, it's going to fork into the common iliac veins. Okay. This anatomy is exactly the same as it is in the cat. So you have common iliac veins, right common iliac vein, left common iliac vein. Common iliac vein branches into the external iliac vein and the internal iliac vein. Okay. The external iliac vein passes through the body wall and becomes a femoral vein. Or actually, the femoral vein is sort of confusing on this model. It's just going to be this nub here. This is not necessarily the femoral vein. Okay?